Right. So, hey everybody, Shane here, daily-astrocat.com. And today is Saturday, or like we like to call it, Catterday, and it is the 21st of February. So, Moon is going to be void of course at 6:11 this morning, and it's going to be void of course all day for 12 hours till 6:31 p.m. Now, this is a long void of course Moon. It's going to put our creativity on hold for some pretty practical reasons. You know, we got a Moon in Aries void of course, but it's going towards Taurus. The signs that are next to each other tend to communicate well with each other for some reason. I don't know why. Astrologically, angle-wise and stuff like that, they're supposed to be a difficult angle. Yet somehow I find that they communicate well, but they, not necessarily eye to eye, but it can. There's an agreement there. There's kind of like a, because it's next to each other. They're neighbors. They got to be nice neighbors, right? So anyway, there's a lesson in there for you. Be a nice neighbor. Actually, we get into the literal. Yesterday unfolded so literally, like as far as that approaching Venus and Jupiter things are, like expansion for the home and things like that. I was out shoveling snow, and my neighbor called me over, and he's like, "Hey, Shane." In the way that construction workers do. My boss gave me some rock salt. Would you like a bag of it? Well, sure, I guess I'll take a bag of rock salt. So he handed me a bag of rock salt out there. Of course, hands you 50 pounds and you're like, yeah, I got it, no problem. Yeah, okay. But yeah, neighbors, right? So anyway, look, it doesn't get any more literal than that, does it? Now, with that home thing with Jupiter in Cancer and Venus just being agreeable, in the Libra sense, right? So it unfolded a lot like that. I've seen some of my previous efforts that have come to fruition, and it was very, very exciting and very cool. So, look, got some more stuff here for you, too, because it doesn't perfect until tomorrow. Now, perfect, what is that? Well, that's that fancy way of saying that it's going to be exact to the degree, the minute, and the second. It's going to happen on Sunday, right? But, look, this is where... as I've said many times, there's no distinct lines in the sky. There's nothing that says, oh, you're entering Aries. Oh, you're coming here. No, we're coming towards that, right? Same thing with the house systems, right? We don't. The house systems are an attempt to portray where on Earth you are in regards to the stars in the heavens. There are no lines. There's no borders. There's no this is that, that's that. They shouldn't even exist in our world, to tell you the truth, because, it should be. I like the idea of community property in certain respects, especially along waterfronts and stuff like that. So this is where the concept of orbs come into play, however, right? Because if we're under we've been mentioning this Venus-Jupiter thing for a couple of days now. That's because they're within the orb of each other, right? Venus and Jupiter are the benefics. They happen to have a very large orb. Use about a 5 to 7 degree. You can use up to a 7 degree orb, 7 degrees for that. Either way. However, sun, moon, some people give that as much as a 10 degree, the luminaries. So 10, 7, 5, 3, you'll find all sorts of numbers out there. And these numbers vary per the astrologer. There's nothing really that says, oh, it should be this. No, it's whatever you feel like it should be given, right? No, that's what it is. Orbs depend upon the planet, the size of the planet, the size of the luminary, which is the sun and the moon, and also the aspect that they're forming. Because say like a yod is a very tight aspect, and we usually only give that less than a 1.5 degree orb when they're forming, because that's where you want to see it almost exact on a chart. So that being said, that's just part of where this is, right? It's a little bit of education for you, a little bit of astrology. We're trying to put everything into this because this is really for, it can be for anybody. We want to just discuss astrology like you know it, like you've already been there. We don't make it easy. We don't make it hard. It's a very much it's for all levels of astrologers, people who are interested in studying astrology. That's the beauty of daily-astrocat.com as far as I can tell, and as far as what I can tell from your comments. Leave me a comment if you disagree. Leave me a comment if you do agree. If you want to see me talk about something else, leave a comment. I always get back to you, and that way we can have a conversation. You can get into a deeper conversation with me about whatever topic that you want to talk about. And if I don't want to talk about it, I won't respond. I've only done that once so far. Just asked a random question. All right. So anyway, look, what we're doing really is we're just scratching the surface of all this stuff, right? Okay. We really are. We're not, we're not trying to go too deeply into astrology every day, but every day we introduce some other concepts and things like that. And it builds on a body throughout the time. Now, maybe someday I'll put together a systematic steps or lessons in ways that I think would be beneficial to everybody as far as who wanted to learn more about astrology. And TikTok keeps on bothering me about that, saying, hey, you can create a course. Well, maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I got to do my Pisces season first. So there's a time constraint there as well. So look, we are fully in command today, even with a void of course moon. Why is that? Well, look, we're not creating from scratch, but we can keep up with what we're doing. I'm talking about astrology right now. I'm talking about what I do every day and creating a course for that. Correct. So success begets success today, and that will show. Now, we are reinforcing what we already know. Why? Mars is sextile the moon in Aries. It has a building effect. We're stacking skills, right? Today's keyword is stacking. Now, the color is a red sky at night. Today is a day that will find us rocking that Venus-Jupiter theme. The sun in Pisces loves our recent accomplishments. How recent? Well, since the 808 portal last summer, right? And now we're talking about it, and now we're approaching the 222 portal. That's tomorrow, February 22nd, and it's a continuation of the February 2nd portal. Are you ready for this, Trish? 22 is a personal number that's tied to personal healing. It's knowing yourself better, particularly on a spiritual level, right? It's kind of like a healing knowing ourselves. The 222 portal is asking us to find balance and harmony and alignment. Now, you're on the right path here with daily-astrocat.com, don't you think? I'd hope so. Now, how will those previous accomplishments play into today? How will they affect us today? They're going to feed our current outlook and allow us to communicate on a level that augments our words with our beliefs and abilities. This is what I would like to call the real deal. So basically, it's just us talking about what the real deal is. Accept this. Believe me, you already know this. If you are doing this and you are into this and you're doing what you're doing, the Mercury retrograde won't be able to shake us off of this belief. We're going to keep on going forward and being able to communicate on that level that augments our words with our beliefs and abilities. That is some important communication. Now, the long void of course day means that we approach today as nothing special. It's business as usual. Mars is strong, and this void of course is activating the business side of things. Today is all business. Tomorrow is about being deeply romantic, being in love, and being passionate. Venus in Pisces is exalted. Here, the language of love is metaphorical and limitless. Venus in Pisces doesn't break hearts, she collects them. Be ready to fall. Now, I don't know what I mean by that, but I'm going to keep it in there. Today, the business of Venus is to make you desire what the moon will encounter in Taurus. Keep it steady, keep it stable, and keep it beautiful. Enjoy the ride. And what does Venus and Taurus love? Well, good food, wine, relaxation, and a good time. Celebrate future success tonight. Love, abundance, and growth are all yours to have, provided you are doing the necessary work. Now, here's a fun fact for you. This is according to my online source. In 1431, Joan of Arc's first day of interrogation occurs today during her heresy trial. Whose idea of fun is this? All right. And our birth is Nina Simone. She's born in 1933 on this date, died in 2003. She's an American jazz pianist, singer, songwriter, arranger, and civil rights activist. Mississippi goddamn, to be young, gifted, and black, feeling good, and wild is the wind. She's born in Tryon, North Carolina. And that's all I have for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Do all the nice things. You know what they are. Let's sum it up. The color is red sky at night. Keyword is stacking. We're stacking skills. We're stacking our accomplishments. Today is a 7. Happy astrocatting.